Well, Simon, earlier in the summer we started talking to a lot of the Australian players about the bats they use, and we found out that they can be a finicky, fussy bunch. Some are, some aren't, but here's another lot of Australian players talking about their weapons.
Well, this time Justin Langer goes over the top.
Good shot. Very, very good shot.
Righto, Justin Langer, Kookaburra player. What type of Kookaburra you got?
This is called the Absolute Belter, and it's quite funny because I used to go into Kookaburra to Rob Elliott and the boys in there and say, mate, this is an absolute belter, and then they decide to name a bat after
Yeah,
it.
well, what do you like about it? The edges, it's a new shape, and thick edges.
Yeah, look, a lot of people talk about the edges these days, Heels, but to me it's more the ping off the bat, you know, how it comes off the bat. You know, there's a lot of talk about the thick edges, but to me it's not as important as the grain and how it picks up, and most importantly how it actually comes off the bat.
You've got a lot of grains in the face of that one. Is that what you like? Sometimes it's like 6 or 8 grains, but you'd have a dozen there.
Yeah, I like to do this. I also like to try and get these little imperfections in the wood, these butterflies. I really like to have them somewhere in the face. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know it's a bit of a superstition for me, I suppose. If I can get one of those butterflies somewhere in the face of the bat, I usually feel pretty confident with it.
A lot of parents would steer clear of that in a retail sense, but do you think it's a strengthening of the wood?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like you say, if a parent sees that, they go, oh, or even kids see it, oh, it doesn't look so. But for me, I think it is. It gives it a real hard spot in the bat, and yeah, I think it strengthens up different areas of the wood for sure.
Another thin handle. Michael Clark was the same. You like the thinner handle?
Yeah, I've always, I always marvelled at David Boone and those guys who have the thick handles. Even Darren Lehman, they have nice thick handles, but for me, I've got quite small hands, and it just feels nice. It just feels nice. In fact, if you ask me what's the most important about my cricket bat, it's how my handle feels in my hand. It's weird, but being a batting nuffy as I am, that's just the thing.
Yes, that is a splendid 100 for Justin Langer.
You might know, therefore, what weight you like. You just like feel, or do you know how heavy your bats weigh?
Yeah, look, I've gone from when we were playing together, Heels, to at about £2.5 or 6, but I used to get ribbed a lot by my teammates having such small bats. So now I usually use about 2.9 up, maybe 2.9, 2.9.5. I'm pretty specific with it.
How many bats would you carry at one time?
Probably 4 or 5. And like I say, I'm a bat nuffy. I mean, there's a few of us. Ricky Ponting, absolute bat nuffy. Adam Gilchrist, the other side, he could walk out with anything and not know the difference like we think. But yeah, usually 4 or 5. Always looking for that ultimate bat.
Do you practice with your match bat?
Ricky Ponting gets angry with me because I tend to, because I like to have the feel, particularly the day before a test. Leading up I don't, but the day before a test I always like to use my match bat.
Thanks, Joe.
Welcome to the crease. It's a big hit. It's going a long, long way at 6.
I like the look of that.
Well, Simon Caddis, the Grey Nichols Predator, what do you like about it?
I like the fact that it's well balanced and there's a bit of wood down the bottom, and the edges are reasonably got some wood in them as well, so it gives you a bit of power.
When you say the wood's down the bottom, is that the sweet spot? A little bit lower for you? You like that?
A little bit lower.
Yeah.
I guess playing in Sydney, the wicket probably doesn't tend to bounce as much as the Gabba or the Wacker, so a little bit more weight down there. And it's a well-balanced bat. It only weighs about £2.9.
£2.9. Do you have any liking or preference for numbers of grains across the face of a bat?
Not really. I'm not too fussy when it comes to the bats. Generally from Grey Nichols, I've been using them for the last 9 years and they've been fantastic bats. Very rarely get bad bats.
What about the handle? Anything tricky about your handle?
Not really, just 2 grips on there. These grips are sort of the new ones they've been sending out with the ribbing, I guess, which makes it pretty comfortable.
That looks like an oval handle at the bottom too. It's not round all the way along, is it?
No, there's a bit of oval shape to the bottom. It just feels comfortable.
Feels
bottom
comfortable,
hand.
yeah.
As you know, Hills, there's a fair bit of bottom hand in my play.
And that tends to get it out a bit?
Well, I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Just feels comfortable.
And that is a brilliant innings. Oh, he's had a go at that one. That's a great shot. Oh, yes. Oh, here we go again. Say goodbye. Way, way over the top.
Thanks, Simon. Well, earlier this season we started off talking to the Australians about what they like about their bats. I'm with Mr. Natural here in the nets, just straight out of the nets, Gilly. Do you look after your bats? Are you a fanatic about your bats?
No, I'm not overly fussy, to be honest, Heels. You'll talk to Ponting and Langer and even Warney's a little bit fussy about his bats, but I tend to just be pretty happy with what I'm given, and I'm usually given nice bats, and I've actually even mixed my bats up. I've played in one test match where I thought I was using another one and looked down and realised it was a different bat. But anyway, just get on with it.
Mr. Natural, mate. See? What do you like about your bats?
Well, pretty chunky in size. It seems all the bats these days are getting bigger and bigger, big edges. Yeah, it's nice to look down and see you've got a fair bit of wood there behind the ball when you're trying to hit it. But other than that, just a nice balance, nice pickup, I guess.
Do you know how much they weigh?
Around about 2.9, 2.10, I think.
And
yeah.
This high grip that you use, was that something you have always had as a youngster?
Not really. At the academy when I was about 18, a batting coach there by the name of Barry Corsby, he was sort of pre-even Rod Marsh's days at the academy, just suggested I might try and hold it a little bit higher and see how it goes, and it's just felt comfortable, really. It's not for any reason. People tell me it's, generate more power and, you get a more freer swing, if you like, but it's just because it's comfortable.
And can you remember your first bat and how did you pay for it?
My first bat arrived from Santa Claus, so I paid dearly over the year to do all the chores and everything like that to get it, but yeah, that was, I think that was a Kim Hughes polyarmor Slazenger, I think, but yeah, they had to touch it up with the polyarmor every time you got a crack like this, but fortunately we don't need to worry about it and give it too much TLC now. We're very well looked after by all our bat companies.
That's a very good shot. It's a half century for him.
Well, that's a good shot. Beautifully timed.
Goes for it. There's a man out there who's getting under it. And he's got it. And Shane Warne, tragically, finishes on 99.
Well, how about this one? It's got everything that the boys are talking about. Have a look at those for edges, and look at that bow that's in that bat. The trendy bow that's in the bats at the moment. Guess whose it is? It's Shane Warne's.
All-rounder.
What do you like about these bats?
I think the guy down at Grey Nichols, Stewie's making unbelievable bats at the moment. County and Grey Nichols being the same company. It's just at the size of the bats, the shape. I think we've got a really good shape at the moment, and how light they are. They pick up really light. They're not too heavy and not too bottom heavy, but I think the most important thing is just the balance. As long as it feels good in your hand, and you feel like you don't have to swing too hard.
A few of the boys have said you're one of the most fussiest. They mentioned Ponting, then Warne. You've always had bats, haven't you?
I'm a bat nuffy, yeah. I love them. I love checking everyone's bats and all that out. I think Haydos and Punter, those two. Michael Clark's a bit the same as well. But yeah, I'm right up there for a guy that bats down the bottom who's no good.
What about your handle? It's quite thin compared to Adam Gilchrist. It's quite thin, but conventional round handle or oval? Or?
A little bit in between. Not too oval, but not too round, and not too thick. I like to be able to feel the handle.
Yeah, good. You guys use them straight away, don't you?
Yep.
You get them and use them. A little bit of plastic sheeting on the front. Extra Tech, that's called.
Yes.
Yours looks...
Good knowledge, Heels.
No dents, mate. You wouldn't tolerate a crack in there, would you?
Well, it depends. That depends. When you play in England, you've got to get your bats pressed a little bit harder because the balls over there are a lot harder and they dint your bats. Over here, you can afford to have them a little bit softer. So they don't dint too much. A little bit down the bottom, but no, they're pretty good.
What's this Warne world record? Surely not with a bat.
No, Pigeon's got me now. Pigeon's got a few more noughts than me, but I'm getting close. No more noughts, please.
What was your first bat and how did you pay for it?
First bat was a St. Peter's. I had the white straight gloves too.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon I got caught hooking down the leg side, give it not out, had a red cherry on the glove, and then I had a Hooks Hurricane.
How did you pay for it? Gift or did you save up?
I think I got it for Christmas, from memory, I think.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks. I think.
Great shot. Beautifully played. And again.
Thanks, Simon. Well, we've got the skipper, Ricky Ponting's joined us, and his bat has caused a little bit of controversy with this sticker. But first of all, punter, with the full back of black, did it take a bit of time to get used to looking down on?
It does look a bit different here than what we've obviously growing up with bats with just stickers on the back and the plain wood. It did take a little bit of time to get used to with this, and I think Kookaburra actually experimented with a couple of different textures as well. One was really shiny when I originally got it, but this one's a bit of a duller finish. So no, it's come up pretty well. I think it's been received well by the public.
Now it's carbon weave in that sticker, but can you believe that that's going to enhance the performance of the front of the bat? Look how thick those edges are.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was the intention of that at all. The intention of this carbon fibre was to reinforce the bat and make it a bit stronger. I think even any club cricketer that buys a bat, and certainly even me, you want it, if you've got a good bat, you want it to last for as long as you can possibly get it to, and I think this is certainly helping do that.
Yeah. What about the front of the bat? We've said thick edges. What do you like about a bat?
I do like the thick edges. I do. I'm actually the last probably 12 months I've been cutting the top off the handle, cutting the knob off the handle to make it a little bit shorter. It just feels a little bit better in my hands and sort of doesn't get in the way as much either.
And you don't mind that grip like that, or that,
no,
that gets nipped off?
Yeah, game day that'll get knocked back down nice and flat, so there's none hanging over the top. And always like to have the grip nice and tight down to the shoulders and the top of the bat as well. But yeah, my bats the last 3 or 4 years have actually got a little bit heavier. They're sort of around the 210 and a half mark now. When I first started, they were sort of 2.7, 2.8. So
you're on everyone's list as the #1 bat lover. You love your cricket bats, don't you?
I do, yeah. They're the tools of the trade, I guess, for us. And I must admit, I'm not as fussy now as I once was. I was a bit of a bat nuffy there for a long time, but I think I've improved over the years, and I think that's come along with the weight getting a bit heavier as well. I'm not as fussy as I used to be with the weight of them, which is sort of making it a bit easier to get a good bat, I guess.
You've been with Kookaburra since you've been about 12. Can you remember your first bat?
I can. I remember my first bat. Yeah. Well, back then, yeah, when I was 12, I was struggling to get bats at the right weight. I was getting these big men's full-size bats, and for days and weeks on end, I'd stay at home and playing the back of them off and shave them down, trying to get them to the right weight. But no, look, thankfully over the last 10 years of my career, I've had some great bats, and especially the last 3 or 4 years have been sensational.
That's beautiful from McGrath.
Well, he's definitely going for it, and he's hit a big one. And he's done it. First ever half-century in Test cricket.
The sheer weight of runs has forced us to include Glenn McGrath in the bat segment as well. Pidgey, is the 61 still a talking point amongst yourself?
I haven't mentioned it for a long time. The boys sort of bring it up from time to time, but I've basically forgotten about it now, so it's that long ago.
It was a landmark moment for cricket, really. It was with this bat. What do you like about this bat?
Well, it actually wasn't the bat I scored the 61 with. The other one had Michael Bevan on it, so as it stands at the moment, he's now using the Glenn McGrath 61, so finally got him in it. But yeah, just something that feels good. Obviously a little bit longer in the blade than say Justin Langer. And the thing I like about it most is down the bottom corner. That does come off normally, and you stick little chocolates and things up in there. And
there it is.
And if I'm spending a lot of time at the crease, have a bit of a bite while I'm out there, stick it back on and continue on.
Yeah, not a lot of room for much to eat there, mate. Grains, the type of handle, does that mean anything to Glenn McGrath?
No, not really. As long as it feels good in the hand. I did a while ago use 2 grips, but now I prefer just a 1 grip. And so for the short.
Would you know how much this weighs?
It's about 210, I think.
210, and it must have been a very fast bowler to make that bat crack. Who was it?
Yeah, it came off the long run. I'd probably hit him for a couple of massive sixes first. Our captain Ricky Ponting bowled a little slow full one that swung in a bit and just hit the bottom of the corner and broke it off.
How many bats would you carry in your coffin?
I try to carry only 1. Sometimes 2. Mike Whitney once said to me, if he ever caught me with 2 bats in my bag, he'd burn one of them. So sorry, Whit, I've got 2 in the bag at the moment.
Once again, it reinforces the message that good things come to those who wait.